Sagicor Bank, supporting businesses with guidance and services to create the recipe for success. The time by Sagicor Bank is 7.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people that I say we are mash up the night. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit it dark. Shine your lights on.
The greatest show on earth is here, and Fan Central goes into extra time for 39 days right throughout FIFA's Showpiece tournament, with a Pepsi in hand, of course. Catch the playbook with a tactical breakdown from our expert coaches. Come sit in our fan corner, where you have your say on the day's action. Fame or shame, who were the best or worst players of the day? And have a laugh as we share some of the best reactions on social media. After the final whistle, it's extra time. Fan Central Extra Time. 8 p.m. daily with 10 p.m. shows on select days where there are 8 p.m. match kickoffs.
Fan Central Extra Time is brought to you by the Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Coming up in CVM News at 7, Dr. Andrew Wheatley launched his legal attack against the Integrity Commission. Earthquake rattles Kingston. Man wanted in relation to string of sexual assaults detained in St. Mary. In international news, exodus of migrants from South Africa. And later on in sports, Canada, first team to advance to round of 16 in World Cup. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Sunday, June 28, 2026. I am Caroline Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with news that scores of Jamaicans today reported feeling tremors after a magnitude 3.9 earthquake struck at 11:45 in the morning. According to the earthquake unit, the epicenter was located about 5 kilometers northeast of Golden Springs, St. Andrew. The quake was felt as far as Portland, St. Catherine, and sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management has not reported any damage or injuries. Now, the quake comes days after two massive earthquakes rattled Caracas, Venezuela. During national holiday celebrations, experts say the Caribbean sits along active fault lines, making tremors a recurring risk. Authorities are reminding residents to review earthquake safety protocols and remain alert to official advisories. The government is pushing back against reports that third country nationals, TCNs, under Jamaica's agreement with the United States have already started arriving on the island. Deputy Prime Minister and National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says no TCNs have been transferred to Jamaica, and he is dismissing claims St. Mary Airbnb has been identified to house them. He warns this misinformation is putting a legitimate business at risk.
So there's been an ongoing story about third country nationals in St. Mary. And firstly, there are no third country nationals in our country who have been sent here by anybody, by the United States government at all. In addition to that, they have indicated a particular villa Airbnb operation as a location where they're staying. That, of course, is totally false. The ministry will keep the country informed at any time, and the media is free to call the communication department of the Ministry of National Security and Peace for information whenever any such mischief is being carried out.
And the people of St. Mary are this Sunday breathing a sigh of relief following the capture of a suspected serial sex offender. Police have detained a man who was wanted in relation to multiple sexual assault cases across the country. A special fugitive apprehension team from the St. Catherine South Police Division reportedly arrested the suspect after a near week-long manhunt in St. Mary. Now, the suspect, who remains in police custody, is said to have preyed on victims through dating sites. Authorities say the manhunt ended in Epsom, St. Mary, and ammunition was recovered in the process. Sources say the suspect is no stranger to the police. It's reported he has had a tainted history of multiple sexual assault charges and related arrests. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says Jamaica's next phase of development will require more than economic growth and government investment. Addressing members of the Jamaican diaspora in Guyana, he argued that lasting progress will depend on changing the country's approach to work and public safety.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says that Jamaica's long-term success will depend not only on sound economic management, but also on a fundamental shift in the country's culture, work ethic and productivity. Speaking to members of the Jamaican diaspora in Guyana, the Prime Minister outlined his government's vision for building a stronger, safer and more prosperous Jamaica.
There is a particular resource. It is natural, but it is not naturally occurring. It is not in the ground. It is not in the air. It is a resource that we create by how we act. And that resource is called efficiency. Jamaican people, very efficient. Because yes, when we go abroad and people see us, they say, Jamaican people, hardworking. That's a cultural thing, isn't it? So what is wrong with getting efficiency as a cultural identification of Jamaicans? That's what we need. That's a resource.
The Prime Minister says the country's improved economic position has allowed the government to make major investments in public safety.
The dividend from good economic management, we then used it to pump into security. We tripled the national security budget. We transformed the JCF and the JDF. The JCF is the premier law enforcement institution in the English-speaking Caribbean. No one can contest that. countries are calling us, asking us to come and assist in policing in their jurisdictions, and we're helping.
Holness also outlines that the next stage of national development will depend on modernizing the education system.
So we're building new schools with the upfront understanding that we have to turn these into academies with a system that is quite different from the current Education Act to ensure that we get the best quality school leaders in these institutions.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Now, the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce is urging stronger anti-corruption measures, arguing that timely resolution of corruption cases are critical to maintaining public confidence, strengthening governance, and protecting Jamaica's investment climate. Their input follows the recent Integrity Commission report regarding a cabinet minister. JACC President Emil Leiber says prolonged delays create uncertainty for both the accused and the wider economy.
One of the areas that we have observed over the years is how long it takes for charges relating to corruption to be conclusively resolved, if at all. Once the charges are issued, then it should enter an expedited process. And that process should hopefully result in a resolution, a conclusive resolution, whether it is acquittal or conviction, perhaps within a 9-month period.
The National Housing Trust, the NHD, is introducing a raft of policy enhancements from July 1 to improve access to home ownership and housing support for contributors. According to NHD Assistant General Manager for Corporate Communications and Public Affairs, Dwayne Burbick, and Manager of the Administrative Support Unit, Shara Cooper, the changes are designed to better meet the needs of young contributors, first responders, and existing homeowners.
So this year in particular, we looked at how we can make improvements to our young adult population. That's a growing population amongst our contributor base. We looked as well as our first responders, those on the front line post Hurricane Melissa, Hurricane Beryl, before that, COVID, to see how we can make some improvements to the offerings there as well.
The 20% deposit now, that is specific to our young adults or young people or young contributors who are interested in purchasing on the open market. So you see a house or you see a lot and you want to acquire that, then what we do is we will allow you to access up to $2 million of your overall entitlement, and you can use that as a deposit in order to start the transaction to acquire the unit.
A community-based initiative is seeking to strengthen families by encouraging more men to become active fathers and positive role models. The Right Shift Foundation, in partnership with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, is engaging men in inner-city communities through dialogue and outreach aimed at promoting responsibility, accountability, and stronger community relationships. Kevin Black has that story.
Executive Director of the Right Shift Foundation, Kevin Wallen, is partnering with the Jamaica Constabulary Force in inner-city communities to encourage greater responsibility among men, particularly those not actively involved in fatherhood or positive community roles. The initiative aims to promote accountability, strengthen community ties, and inspire men to become more engaged and supportive figures in the lives of others. Speaking in an interview with CVM News, Wallen outlined the need for practical community interventions and greater support for father figures and male role models.
I've always been one of the ones that sit down and say fathers, they don't get the justice that it deserves. And so rather than just kind of sitting around and talking about it, I actually wanted to do something about it. So when the opportunity came and I started to work with the police, I then decided to, you know what, let me work with them to identify fathers within the inner city communities, fathers within the schools, a father that go and do some coaching on the side, you know, so all of these fathers, the unsung heroes.
Wallen also emphasized the importance of community partnerships to deliver practical support and conflict prevention in inner city spaces.
Well, the idea, you know, is that I want to see more conversations like this in the communities. And so there's all of these different stakeholders that are going into the community with the police, having these conversations. And they're not only having the conversations, but I feel like they're offering, the gifts that they're offering can be taken and utilized by the community right away.
He is also urging men to take greater responsibility in their children's lives.
It doesn't matter what your baby mother thinks of you. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks of you. Their confidence is shaken when you're not there. Everything about them is different. A lot of these girls are running into the arms of older men. Is them father them trying to find? It's that stability. It's that steadiness that they're trying to find.
Kevin Black, CVM News.
The government is looking to build on the progress made in tackling prey larceny and other agricultural crimes. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says the next phase will focus on expanding enforcement to better protect farmers and Jamaica's food supply. Kevin Black is our reporter once again. No, we will not have that story just now. Why don't we take a break? We'll be right back.
The greatest show on earth is here, and Fan Central goes into extra time for 39 days right throughout FIFA's Showpiece tournament. With a Pepsi in hand, of course. Catch the playbook with a tactical breakdown from our expert coaches. Come sit in our fan corner where you have your say on the day's action. Fame or shame? Who are the best or worst players of the day? And have a laugh as we share some of the best reactions on social media. After the final whistle, it's extra time. Fan Central Extra Time. 8 p.m. daily with 10 p.m. shows on select days where there are 8 p.m. match kickoffs.
Fan Central Extra Time is brought to you by the Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi.
Hey, what I want? Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What a guan?
What a guan?
That a guan, pa.
What a guan? What a guan?
What a guan? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
And that's a guan, pa. What a guan?
We welcome you back with a follow-up. The Integrity Commission has recommended that Cabinet Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley be charged with, among other things, illicit enrichment following a recent controversial report into his statutory declarations. However, Dr. Wheatley is fighting back. His legal team sought the court's intervention to quash the report and its prosecutorial ruling while blocking any criminal charges that could stem from the report. With more, here's Nika Lewis.
When the Integrity Commission's report was tabled in Parliament, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, the subject of the investigation and 4 potential charges, including illicit enrichment, fired back, insisting he was innocent and vowing to get justice in the courts.
Let me just use this opportunity to indicate to colleagues here that I have every intention of protecting my reputation. It is a matter that somewhere or other can affect all of us as members. Source. And so my team of lawyers will bring to the fore, to the public, that I am innocent, that the conclusions are inaccurate.
So it was no surprise when on Friday his legal team from Dabdoob and Company filed an application in the Supreme Court seeking judicial review to quash the uncomplimentary and controversial findings of the IC report. But his lawyers didn't stop there. They also asked the court to block any criminal charges that could stem from the report, quash the prosecutorial ruling that recommended charges for false statements, failure to provide information, and illicit enrichment, issue injunctions preventing the Integrity Commission and the Acting Director of Corruption Prosecution from pursuing the case until the review is heard, and declare the investigation was unfair, ultra vires, and in breach of natural justice. The filings highlight several alleged errors in law, including claims that the Commission wrongly applied provisions retroactively, misdirected itself on the mental element of false statement offenses, and overstated a $164 million wealth gap by excluding legitimate income. Dr. Wheatley maintains his statutory declarations were lawful and says the Commission ignored explanations for his assets, including business and rental earnings. His attorneys argue the prosecutorial process lacked independence and failed to provide reasons for its ruling. The case is formally against 3 respondents tied to the Integrity Commission. Kevin Stevenson, Director of Investigation, who prepared and signed the report; Kellyanne Murdoch, Acting Director of Corruption Prosecution, who ruled that Dr. Wheatley should face charges, and the Integrity Commission itself. This legal challenge now adds to the high-profile disputes between politicians and the Integrity Commission, including Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness's own judicial review application. It also underscores a growing tension between the Holness administration and its anti-corruption watchdog. The courts will now decide whether the Commission acted within its powers and whether Dr. Wheatley should face prosecution. Several local bodies have called for the minister's resignation, while some have called for a review of the country's handling of corruption investigations. Nika Lewis, CVM News.
And we can now go to that report from Kevin Black, where the government is looking to build on the progress made in tackling prey larceny and other agricultural crimes. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says the next phase will focus on expanding enforcement to better protect farmers and Jamaica's food supply.
1 year after its establishment, the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Agricultural Protection Branch is being credited with strengthening the fight against prey larceny and other agricultural crimes. Speaking at the branch's first anniversary celebration, Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says the unit has already made a significant impact.
The work of the APB is critical to the future of Jamaica. It is genuinely critical to our food security. And it's generally critical to re-engendering hope in those who feed our nation. A 458% increase in arrests over the last year, moving from 115 arrests in 24-25 to 640 arrests in 25 to 26. I think that deserves a big round of applause.
Minister Green says that the government continues to strengthen the branch through legislative reforms, improved traceability systems, and the use of technology to better support farmers and law enforcement.
We also have to strengthen our traceability systems, and we're looking to really utilize the technology now to bring in some databases that will make it easier for you to identify a registered farmer. You should be able to go on your phone and be able to type in and see that this person is registered and is up to date. We're working on that. We're working on strengthening our animal traceability system.
The minister also maintains that the government is moving to establish the Agricultural Wardens Program to provide additional support for the Agricultural Protection Branch.
We have to get our Agricultural Wardens Program on stream now. It has taken a long time. I said in my sectorial presentation that I urge the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Agriculture technical team to finalize the regulations by the end of this month into early next month so that we can bring in our first cohort of wardens, have them trained and have them rolled out by December of this year.
Kevin Black for CVM News.
And now it's time for a look at regional and international news. We will take that actually after this. Stay with us, please.
greatest show on earth is here, and Fan Central goes into extra time for 39 days right throughout FIFA's Showpiece tournament. With a Pepsi in hand, of course. Catch the playbook with a tactical breakdown from our expert coaches. Come sit in our fan corner where you have your say on the day's action. Fame or shame, who were the best or worst players of the day? And have a laugh as we share some of the best reactions on social media. After the final whistle, it's extra time. Fan Central Extra Time. 8 p.m. daily with 10 p.m. shows on select days where there are 8 p.m. match kickoffs.
Fan Central Extra Time is brought to you by the Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Hey, what I want? Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What a guan?
What a guan?
That a guan pa.
What a guan? What a guan?
What a guan! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
That's a guan pa. What a guan?
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people that I say we are mash up the dance. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit it dark. Shine your lights on.
Thanks so much for your patience. Now, among the top international stories, thousands of migrants are scrambling to leave South Africa ahead of a June 30 deadline set by anti-immigrant groups. We hear more from Al Jazeera.
You see the barbed wire and the fence. I'm not allowed inside there. Security guards guarding the area said they were told by South African authorities that the media, i.e. cameras, aren't allowed to enter this place where thousands of people from Malawi have been sleeping for days. Maybe the government doesn't want the world to see what's happening inside here, but we'll try and show you what it looks like from the angle we are standing. These are many people from Malawi, foreigners who are trying to get out of South Africa before the June 30 deadline. That's the date when some protesters have said to undocumented foreigners, you must all leave the country or else there could be problems. So people are scrambling, trying to get out because they're scared.
So far in this time, we're talking about 22 to 24,000 that has been gone home. The reason being is that because of the situation which is in South Africa, dislike all the foreigners, whether there is a documented or not documented.
You can see from the laundry, people are trying to make themselves as comfortable as possible out here, but time is running out and it's almost the end of the month. There are several reasons why people are trying to get out. Some say they're being physically chased away from the neighborhoods. Others are saying they were employed, but their employers came to them and said, because you're undocumented, I can't keep hiring you. You need to leave or else the business will be fined by the South African government. Others are saying their landlords have come up to them and said that they are being threatened by people in the neighborhood wanting to know why this particular landlord is renting out their room or their house to an undocumented foreigner, and they're being threatened that if you don't evict these undocumented foreigners, your property will be burnt down. So a lot of tension in South Africa at the moment, and many people are nervous. Hada Mutasa, Al Jazeera, Durban.
And we now make way for sports.